Hi, I'm Tracy with Newman-Dailey Resort Properties. Thanks for joining us. Today we are with Joe Moore. We're here at Sea Life Discovery Center in Grayton Beach. This is an exciting new opportunity for families to really connect with our marine life that we have here along the coast. Tell us a little bit about your mission and vision coming here to Grayton.
Yeah, we've been residents for a number of years, and what I noticed is that a lot of the marine life and a lot of things that we see out at the beach are not really, there's not a really emphasis on protecting these resources or protecting our marine life. So I thought, gosh, it'd be wonderful to have a marine science center that teaches the next generation to protect our ocean environment. And not only that, you inspire the young people to have a vision for their own life, and they start to see that they can give something back and they can protect our oceans. And so you take kids from all over the county, even the north side of the county, who don't have a lot of purpose or don't ever get to go to the beach, and all of a sudden they're like, wow, I have something of value to give back to the community. So what we do here is we teach about protecting our natural resources, but we also do camps for at-risk kids and people in need. But on top of that, we take families out to enjoy the marine life, because that's how you connect people to protecting our ocean environment.
So we did an exciting excursion today out to see some sea turtles. Tell us a little bit about the sea turtle population here, and I believe they're endangered, aren't they, Joe?
Well, they're at risk, but the problem is that we are losing anywhere from 300 to 500,000 sea turtles a year due to man's overfishing or entanglement or fishing line entanglement. And so there's all these issues. I mean, the average sea turtle doesn't live except for like 30 years because of issues like this. On top of that, the sea turtles are eating trash because they confuse it with jellyfish. And once their stomach reaches about 50%, they think that they're full and they die of starvation. And so we're starting to see more and more trash in our oceans, and these turtles are consuming this. And so it's not sustainable. Losing 300 to 400,000 sea turtles all over the world on a yearly basis is something that is going to be a problem in the future. They will become critically endangered.
So it's important right now that we're not only educated and we're doing things to help these sea turtles make it, but there's so many ways that people can be part of conservation and taking care of this amazing destination here in South Walton. So I guess it all starts here in the Sea Lab, and you do an education course?
Yeah, so I was going to say, in the Gulf of Mexico, we probably have the highest concentration of green sea turtles next to Hawaii, because the loop current that comes down or comes up from the Caribbean passes our area, and many of the sea turtles ride that current and then feed in our region and feed in our bays. So in the bay behind Shell Island, sometimes we have between 20 and 100 sea turtles, and they're usually juveniles resting and feeding and eating. And that's not counting all the other sea turtles. We have loggerheads and Kemp Ridleys and leatherbacks, but the greens are our most abundant species out here.
And I understand they also nest along our shores starting in May through October, and there's a lot of things I'm sure you share with folks on how they can help keep our beaches clean, dark, and flat.
Yeah, so young sea turtles, their opportunity to reach adulthood used to be thought of as 1 in 1,000, but now it's probably 1 in 10,000. And so what we can do is help reduce the lights, use red flashlights at night. Don't keep white lights on, because the juvenile turtles get confused and they start heading towards what they're thinking is the moon, and it could be a light on a condo and confuse them, and then they get eaten by birds up in the dunes. And so those are issues. Another issue that we have is we've got to pick up the trash off the beach, because we do plankton tows, and plankton tows really study the very small, tiny species out in our Gulf. Well, 1 out of 3 plankton tows, we see microscopic plastics. And these microscopic plastics are eaten by the juvenile turtles. And so they may never reach adulthood because they get full of the plastics. And so that's a really big issue in our area as well.
That is a huge issue. In fact, we encourage folks to skip the straw and help to reduce the plastics in our oceans. Right. So we love welcoming families to the beach. They come here for their annual vacations. Tell us a little bit about how they can get involved here at the Sea Life Discovery Center and maybe participate in a class, do one of your excursions.
Yeah, we have several excursions. Sometimes we go out to the outlets with the young children and we teach them all about the creatures that live in these coastal dune outlets as it reaches the Gulf of Mexico. And we do kayaks. We take the kids kayaking, and then we do net pulls with our giant nets. And then another one of our most popular programs is starting in the lab. We teach about sea turtles. Then we go by boat out to Shell Island. And then we snorkel with the green sea turtles, and then we go into the seagrasses and see the juvenile species, things like porcupine fish, like we saw today, sand dollars, starfish, urchins, and the kids get to hold it. And that's important because you want them to have fun, but you want them to connect to the ocean. If they're not holding it and seeing it, sometimes they're distanced from what's happening in our marine world.
And again, it looks like this is a great place to start. You've got some amazing touch tanks with a lot of species in here.
Right.
So a lot of opportunities to be educated. So how do people learn more? Do you have a website?
Yeah, they can go to 30acealife.org. We're a nonprofit. And right there, it talks about the age-appropriate trips, how long they last, how much they cost. And one of the things that we love to do is we take families during the summer, and whatever finances we make from the families, we pour into the camps for at-risk kids. So none of this money goes to supplying any of our needs. It's supplying the camps for the children from the Walton County area.
What a great project. Well, we're so glad to have you here in Grayton Beach, Joe. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope that our families visiting Newman-Dailey Resort Properties will get to know Joe and this amazing project he has going on and connect with our marine environment.